Welcome back, guys. So, talking sports here, talking blockchain, talking Web3, a little bit of gaming too, if you will. The network that I'm talking about is Chili's. And you can see the yearly here. All right. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, that chart look atrocious. What are you showing me right now? What are you trying to get me into, man? Come on now. I trust you. You're better than this. Hold on. There is a very potent story about this chart that I have firsthand knowledge of. Dating back to 2021, you can see the pump, ladies and gentlemen, 1 cent to 60 cent. 60-cent rally. Now, I'll admit to you, I didn't get any of that. I was just learning what Chili's was. This was 2021, so I was holding V-Chain, 2 cent to 25 cent. Then got back in, rode another rally, got some cello, flipped that. I'm getting off track here. 2021 though, whole different time in the space. My level of knowledge wasn't nowhere near what it is now. But you can see the significant drop off since then. Let me tell you what happened. Because Chili's does fan tokens, they also have a fan engagement platform in known as Socios. Right now, the particular market is the EU and other places around the world. They focus on soccer, or as it's recognized around the rest of the world, football. And that pulls in Major League Soccer, World Cup, FIFA, all of that good stuff. Okay. They got fan tokens around Paris Saint Germain, Juventus. I can't remember all the clubs right now, guys. Forgive me. Okay. Long story short, they were during this 2021 run, they were getting ready to enter the US market. They had begun establishing relationships with NHL, MLB, and NFL franchises. What happened? Well, previous administration made it very hard for non-US crypto companies to do business in the United States. Hell, it was hard for US based companies to do business here. We remember the days when the SEC was suing everybody and their parents, okay? Fast forward to the Trump era, and things began to change. Once the hype around him running again really picked up steam, people in the space began to see an opportunity. Now, all of this led me to a Telegram discussion with the CEO of Chili's, Alexandre Dreyfus. I asked him specifically, I said, why isn't Chili's pushing into the US market? The sports world in the United States drives the economy. Okay? Tell me if I'm lying. Tell me in the comments if I'm lying. Sports drives the economy here in the United States. That's the case that I'm making to him, right? Very gracefully, warmly, he replied, because of the regulatory environment in the US, we can't do business here. However, if that changes, we'll be coming back. This was 2023-ish, okay? And you can see where they were in the price chart. Ladies and gentlemen, let me show you something. This was from April 22nd of this year. This is Alexandre Dreyfus, founder, CEO of Chili's, the creator of Chili's, standing with Bo Hines, executive director of the President's Council of Advisors for Digital Assets in the US. And as you can see by Dreyfus's tweet, it's time for us to come back to the US and invest. Now, why am I sensationalizing this so much? Because this is a play that I'm getting ready to make myself. I'm about to go absolutely bonkers into Chili's, because not only does Chili's work with the fan engagement side of everything, okay? But now that PayPal is helping student athletes get their money, I see a new market open. It's a whole new market. And unlike previous networks who have tried to dive into the world of sports before, Chili's infrastructure is designed from the ground up for fan engagement, for franchises to sell their products as well as their tokens. They have the ability to run NFTs. So now you have your own ticketing platform that adds more incentive. Their infrastructure is designed for sports. So that's one side of it. All right. We are definitely, this is a speculative discussion here, but the pieces around it, guys. And like I said, I have been tracking this asset for 3 years now, watching this narrative unfold. And what I find to be the most fascinating is that it hasn't fallen off. Website brand new and updated. They're doing conferences. They just did one in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, but it was lit. Okay. Everybody was there. So they're making appearances. They're still strong. They're still listed on exchanges. And now they have their own blockchain. So they're even more efficient. So what I'm seeing is now that Chili's is coming back to the United States and the NCAA has made it legal for universities to pay their student athletes, there is now a need for a new efficient payment system. PayPal, you won't be able to handle it all. Okay, you won't be able to handle it all. And this is not a knock on y'all, but I'm trying to be as realistic as possible. Okay, trying to be as realistic as possible about this situation. And there's another leg to this as well that I believe crypto, once it gets involved with this, a lot of money to be made here. Crypto and sports betting. Has it happened? Is it possible? Well, a few years ago, Polygon and the leading sports book across the nation in DraftKings signed a neat and nice, since those were the words I wanted to say at the same time. A nice little partnership, validator agreement between DraftKings and Polygon. Okay. Now, details about this relationship are iffy. We truly have not seen anything at scale come from this relationship, with the exception of some, funds that may have been sent to DraftKings without people necessarily knowing about it. So what I'm getting at here is that there's a lot of murkiness around this relationship, but it shows that it can happen. Now, another thing to consider is the fact Polygon's network ain't built for fan engagement. I mean, they tried it with Starbucks. That didn't turn out too well. They made another attempt with DraftKings. Now, full disclosure here, I'm on DraftKings quite frequently. All right, depending on the time of the year, I might be on there every day, just like a crypto exchange. All right, checking my assets, checking my prop bets. But as a DraftKings user, I can tell you something. They have a crown system that, you can, it's their reward system that pays you out when you hit certain bets or you bet a certain amount or, continuous play, you get these crowns in return, right? That is a reward system that could be magnified with the addition of Chili's infrastructure. Remember, it's already built for fan engagement. On top of that, guys, since we're talking money here, just so you know, in the state of Michigan alone, last year, $5.3 billion. $5.3 billion. So this is what I'm saying here. One, the main difference between Polygon and Chili's is that Chili's has the infrastructure for fan engagement. In addition to that, PayPal now being the primary payment processor for student athletes, there's another market open there, because wrapped into Chili's infrastructure are payments. You got to move the fan token somehow. At the end of the day, guys, I think even if it's not Chili's, even if I'm completely wrong about this, and I don't think I am, NIL is a new market that blockchain can dramatically improve.